this is Spidey1958, and welcome to my Pathfinder Kingmaker classes, core classes, abilities, and builds, whatever I called it. In this episode, we're going to cover the Barbarian. So, there are there's the basic Barbarian and 3 subclasses. We'll start with the basic. First of all, the Barbarian Proficiencies. A Barbarian is proficient with all simple and martial weapons, light armor, medium armor, and shields. So, pretty much not surprised there. First level. They get fast movement. A Barbarian's land speed is faster than norm for their race by 10 feet. This benefit applies only when they are wearing no armor, light armor, or medium armor and not carrying a heavy load. Apply this bonus before modifying the Barbarian's speed because of any load carried or armor worn. This bonus stacks with any other bonus to the Barbarian's land speed. And next is the Barbarian's main class ability, Rage. A Barbarian can call upon inner reserves of strength and ferocity, granting her additional combat prowess. Starting at first level, a Barbarian can rage for a number of rounds per day equal to 4 plus their Constitution modifier. At each level after first level, they can rage for 2 additional rounds. Temporary increases to Constitution, such as those gained from rage and spells like Bear's Endurance, do not increase the total number of rounds that a Barbarian can rage per day. A Barbarian can enter rage as a free action. The total number of rounds of rage per day is renewed after resting 8 hours, though these hours do not need to be consecutive. While in rage, a Barbarian gains a +4 morale bonus to Strength and Constitution, as well as a +2 morale bonus on will saves. In addition, they take a -2 penalty to armor class. The increase to Constitution grants the Barbarian 2 hit points per hit dice, but these disappear when the rage ends and are not lost first like temporary hit points. While in rage, a Barbarian cannot use any charisma, dexterity, or intelligence-based skills, except acrobatics, fly, intimidate, and ride, of which acrobatics is the only one actually in the games, though I assume you could use persuasion as intimidate. Whoops. Let me do this. Or any ability that requires patience or concentration. A Barbarian can end their rage as a free action and is fatigued after rage for a number of rounds equal to 2 times the number of rounds spent in rage. A Barbarian cannot enter a new rage while fatigued or exhausted, but can otherwise enter rage multiple times during a single encounter or combat. If a Barbarian falls unconscious, their rage immediately ends, placing them in peril of death. So basically, if their Constitution is not high enough to keep them alive after they lose those additional hit points, they basically will die. So, second level, they get Uncanny Dodge. They can react to danger before their senses would normally allow them to do so. They cannot be caught flat-footed, nor do they lose their dexterity bonus to armor class if the character is invisible. They still lose their dexterity bonus to AC if immobilized. A character with this ability will lose their dexterity bonus to AC if an opponent successfully uses the feint action against them. If a rogue already has Uncanny Dodge from a different class, they automatically gain improved Uncanny Dodge instead. Rage Power. As a Barbarian gains level, they learn to use their rage in new ways. Starting at second level, a Barbarian gains a Rage Power. They gain another Rage Power for each 2 levels a Barbarian attained after second level. A Barbarian gains the benefits of Rage Powers only while raging, and some of these powers require the Barbarian to take an action first. Unless otherwise noted, a Barbarian cannot select an individual power more than once. At third level, they get Danger Sense. A Barbarian gains a +1 bonus on reflex saves to avoid traps and a +1 dodge bonus to their AC against attacks by traps. These bonuses increase by 1 for every 3 levels thereafter to a maximum of +6 at 18th level. At 4th level, they get another Rage Power. At 5th level, they get improved Uncanny Dodge. They can no longer be flanked. Their defense denies another rogue the ability to sneak attack the character by flanking them, unless the character has at least 4 more rogue levels than the target does. And in this case, you would say Barbarian level. So a rogue can't flank a Barbarian unless they're 4 levels higher. 6th level, they get another Rage Power and another plus on their Danger Sense. 7th level, they get Damage Reduction. A Barbarian gains damage reduction. Subtract 1 from the damage Barbarian takes each time they are dealt damage from a weapon or natural attack. At 10th level, whenever 3 levels, Barbarian levels thereafter, this damage reduction is raised by 1 point. Damage reduction cannot reduce damage to 0. Can reduce the damage to 0, but not below 0. 8th level, you get a Rage Power. 9th level, you get another plus on Danger Sense. 10th level, you get a Rage Power and another plus on damage resistance. At 11th level, you get Greater Rage. At 11th level, a Barbarian bonus on melee attack rolls, melee damage rolls, thrown weapon rolls, and will saves while raging increases to +3. In addition, the amount of temporary hit points gained when entering a rage increases by 3 per hit dice. 12th level, another Rage Power and another plus on Danger Sense. 13th level, another point of damage reduction. 14th level, they get Indomitable Will. While in rage, a Barbarian of 14th level or higher gains +4 bonus on will saves to resist enchantment spells. This bonus stacks with all other modifiers, including the morale bonus on will saves they receive during their rage. And they get another Rage Power. 15th, they get another Danger Sense. 16th, they get another Rage Power and another damage reduction point. 17th level, they get Tireless Rage. Starting at 17th level, a Barbarian no longer becomes fatigued at the end of their rage, which is a big thing because then you can immediately rage again. 18th level, another Rage Power. 19th level, your last plus to Danger Sense. 19th level, your last point of damage resistance. 20th level, you get your Mighty Rage. At 20th level, a Barbarian's bonus on melee attack rolls, melee damage rolls, thrown weapon damage rolls, and will saves while raging increases to +4. In addition, the amount of temporary hit points gained when entering a rage increases to 4 per hit die. And they gain another Rage Power. So that is the basic Barbarian. So next we have the Armored Hulk. Some Barbarians disdain the hides and leather used as armor by most of their kin. Instead, they master the heaviest of armors, even those created by more civilized people, to gain greater protection and stability in battle. So they get the same basic Barbarian proficiencies, but they also add heavy armor proficiency. So they will gain that. They have the same rage. They get Indomitable Stance low instead. An Armored Hulk receives a +1 bonus on combat maneuver checks and to CMD and on reflex saves against trample attacks. They also gain a +1 to their armor class against charge attacks and on attack and damage rolls against charging creatures. So let's see, what did they lose? It looks like they basically lose... Oh no, they still have rage. Oh, they lose... It looks like their Uncanny Dodge, which makes sense. At 2nd level, they get Armored Swiftness. 2nd level, an Armored Hulk... I assume that's moves 5 feet faster than normal in medium and heavy armor. Rage Power, they gain a Rage Power. At 13th, they get the Resilience of Steel. At 3rd level, an Armored Hulk is able to use their armor to help avoid deadly hits. When wearing heavy armor, they gain a +1 bonus to AC that applies only on critical hit confirmation rolls. The bonus increases to +1 every 3 levels beyond 3rd. So they become harder to confirm the crit on, which is good. They get a rage power at 4th. At 5th, they get improved armored swiftness. An armored Hulk moves faster in medium and heavy armor. When wearing medium or heavy armor, an armored Hulk can move 10 feet faster than normal to a maximum of their speed. So they basically negate the movement penalty for the armor. And let's see, is there any other differences here? They get their resilience of steel goes up. They get the same damage reduction. They get indomitable will. So I think those are the only real differences. So let's look at Mad Dog. Though named for the wild savages who fight alongside rabid dogs, mad dogs employ all manners of beasts as their battle brethren. So they get the standard Barbarian Proficiencies. They get the fast movement, but they also get an animal companion at first level. So they will have an animal companion, and even though it says dog, they get them as druids, so they could have a mastodon or a saber-toothed tiger, or that I would assume. They get, at second level, they get pack tactics. A mad dog and their war beast gain +4 bonus on attack rolls when flanking the same opponent instead of the normal +2 bonus. Hopefully the AI takes that into consideration, otherwise it's really hard to do. You get the normal danger sense. You don't get rage until 4th level. So you get your rage at a much later level. At 5th level, you get ferocious fetch. At 5th level, a Mad Dog's War Beast gains improved trip as a bonus feat. Improved trip, you can attempt to trip your opponent in place of a melee attack. You can only trip an opponent who is no more than one size category larger than you. If your attack exceeds the target's CMD, the target is knocked prone. If the target has more than 2 legs, add +2 to the DC of the combat maneuver for each additional leg it has. Some creatures, such as oozes, creatures without legs, and flying creatures, cannot be tripped. In addition, you gain a +2 bonus on checks made to trip a foe. You also receive a +2 bonus in your combat maneuver defense whenever an opponent tries to trip you. So you also get, looks like, less rage powers here. Because you don't start your rage powers till 4, and it looks like you get less of them. You get the same danger sense. Damage reduction starts at 10th. You get your greater rage, your tireless rage. Okay, most of this looks the same for the most point. At 14th level, you get Throat Cutter. In 14th level, whenever your war beast succeeds at a bull rush, overrun, or trip combat maneuver against an opponent threatened by the Mad Dog, a Mad Dog can take an attack of opportunity against that opponent. And then at 20th level, you still get the Mighty Rage. So basically, you give up some things to get a pet. It's a very interesting build. I think it would be interesting to see someone run it. And last but not least is the Invulnerable Rager. Some barbarians learn to take whatever comes their way, shrugging off mortal wounds with ease. These barbarians invite their enemies to attack them and use pain to fuel their rage. So again, they get the same basic barbarian proficiencies, light, medium armor, simple martial weapons. They get the fast movement, and they get rage. So really there's not much difference at first level. Second level, they get their rage powers. They get damage reduction much sooner. So they get it at first level, so they'll ultimately be up to 10 damage result. But it's different because you subtract 1 from the damage the barbarian takes each time. Damage reduction. Nope, that's the same. Okay. You just get it much sooner for your levels. And then you get Extreme Endurance. At 3rd level, the Barbarian Rager gains 1 point of fire resistance and 1 point of cold resistance. At 6th and every 3 levels thereafter, this damage resistance raises by 1 point up to 6 points at 18th level. So they do lose their dodge and uncanny dodge and such, but they do gain more damage reduction plus some elemental damage stuff. So let's go ahead and come up with a build for a standard barbarian. So we can go ahead and go to barbarian here. Strength and con. That's pretty much says it all. Now, we can make one of these a 17. And then, well, I think it's better to make strength a 17. And then we can give them 1 point of dex. And then we will add strength, I think, as their primary stat. Now, as always, these aren't necessarily the ultimate build or most optimized. These are basically builds that should be perfectly playable. They get 3 points. They really don't have much in anything, but I would probably take athletics, nature lore, and of course everyone knows I love perception. So next, you get their feats. Well, remember they can't use any feats that require certain checks and stuff like that, but power attack's perfectly fine. They can use power attack. And then you have the choice. You could either, if you want to know that there's a specific weapon you want to use weapon focus. If you're not sure what weapon or want to see what you find, I would probably go ahead with toughness. Hit points are the bread and butter, even more so of barbarians. So, and everyone's a confident barbarian. And barbarians can be most alignments. They can't be lawful. They can be anything but lawful. So we can make a chaotic good barbarian. And then we would call him Bob the Barbarian. As you know, I'm very imaginative with my names. So there we do have a basic barbarian, Bob the Barbarian. He's going to be +5 on melee attacks, which will go up to +7 when he's raging. And if he uses a two-handed weapon, he would be, well, let's see, +9 damage to it, +6 if he uses a normal. And at first level, he'd get a whole 2 extra hit points, so he'd have 21 hit points at first level. Though, like I said, you have to watch that fact that when they stop raging, if they're low, they'll fall unconscious, and if they're negative, they may very well die. It's much less of a problem at first level than it is when you get up levels. So as always, if you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and give me a like or a comment. And if you disliked the episode, leaving me a dislike's fine, but please leave a comment saying why you disliked it. As always, this is Spidey1958, and have fun gaming.